Today we're going to take a quick look at a Legion gaming desktop. This is the Lenovo Legion Tower T5-26AMR5, and it is a Ryzen based gaming desktop. We're going to take a look at the outside, and then we'll look at the specs and give you some close-up looks inside and talk a little bit about some of the software that comes from Legion for the lighting and such. So let me just give you a look around the outside first here, and I'll leave the glass on initially so you can kind of see what that looks like. So of course it's got the tempered glass on the one side like most gaming desktops produced today. And then you can see it's got the Legion logo, and it's basically a decal, I believe, on the inside of the casing there. So you don't feel it on the outside when you run your finger down there. All right, so that's got the glass there on the side. I'll go ahead and remove that. It's just got two thumb screws. Looks like we're missing one up here. Just two thumb screws on that. And then you can see the hook closure that is on the lid here. It's got 1, 2, 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. Pretty standard. You can see the back of that decal here. Yeah, it's just basically looks like a vinyl decal that they put on the inside. Kind of a nice touch. But let's take a look here at the inside first, and then we'll kind of pass back around. So we are looking at the full case. And you can see the power supply there at the bottom. So they've got this kind of seamless one-piece case there within a case that all the power supplies enclosed within. And then you can see it's got vents all the way up along the top. And I can feel ventilation here as I put my hand here. So they've got some pretty decent fans and ventilation going on there. And then if we pan up just a little bit, you can see the GTX 1660 Super graphics card in there. And then we've got quite a few ventilation fans. You can see there's one in the back there, and then one right in the middle on the processor, and then two more up in the front. And they've all got those RGB LED lightings, and we'll talk about the software that you can use to change all that later, but right now it's on some kind of cycling mode where it's going through the different colors and just rotating among those different color sets there. You can see you've got your memory sticks there right behind to the right of the processor. There it does have a total of 4 slots like most other systems on the market today. And so you can get a real good close-up look of the AMD motherboard and everything else that comes with this standard. Now, I know some people watching this might give some flack to Lenovo and Legion just because this is a production-based gaming system, meaning that it's mass-produced. It's readily available, it's affordable for most people, and so that's why we do these videos. We get these in the shop, and the truth is a lot of people are looking at these. They may not be the top of the line, they may not be totally custom, but a lot of people, this is all maybe they have access to, or it's in their budget, and so they're looking at them. And so I hope these videos are helpful. But you can see it's got some pretty basic cable management here, nothing too fancy, but everything's going to be tucked back into the front right there. And that's pretty standard for a lot of the production gaming machines that we get here in the shop. And so yeah, that's what it looks like inside. The lighting is kind of nice. It's got a decent amount where it's not overbearing, or it's just enough to kind of accent and give some ambience to the inside of the casing there. So that's what it looks like inside. It looks like cooling wise, can't speak from experience, but it looks like they've done a really good job, and the position of the fans and everything, everything's very linear where the air is going to come in and just come right through the processor and pass out the back there. So it looks like it would keep things pretty cool on the inside there. But let's spin around to the back so you can kind of get a look at some of the ports on the back here. And you can see the fan, very well ventilated here. Nice kind of hexagon type grid there you can see. And then in your integrated ports on the motherboard, you've got 2 USB down here, just regular ones, and then you've got your high-speed USB, and then 1 C port right there. Looks like it is a 1.0 if I can read that properly. All right, then you've got your Ethernet ports, and then your audio, of course, built in, and then there's your GTX 1660 Super graphics card. So it does have a DVI, HDMI, and then a DP, a display port as well. And then of course it takes up 2 of the bays there, so you're left with 2 more down here that you could expand on. And again, I'll just show you inside what that looks like so that you can see underneath the graphics card there, you've got 2 more bays. And actually, let's see, you really only have access to 1 of them, it looks like. Yeah, so really functionally you just got access to 1 of them down there. I don't know if you can make that out. Let me see if I can get it to focus a little bit better. There we go. So yeah, you've really only got that 1 slot underneath the graphics that you can make use of there. All right, so if you're looking for something where you can expand and add a lot of options, this system may not be the one for you. You know, it is a little bit shorter, and so that's kind of partly where you sacrifice right here, is you don't have as much room for expansion. But for the average user, I think, you know, maybe you'll add, I don't know, storage in there or some kind of other accelerator, and that's probably it. So for most people, I think that'll be just fine. Then you can see down here the cooling for the power supply down there. The grid here, the grate, is a lot smaller. It's the same size it is on these little expansion ports right there compared to the grate, the grid that's up here. So just something to take note of on the outside of the casing there. And it does have some of those quick release thumb screws on the opposite side to get to the SSD and the storage on the opposite side. Pretty traditional, again, for protection-based gaming desktop. Let me get you a look at the front there. So you can see it does have the Legion logo on the front here, and it does have some LED RGB lighting behind that as well. And we will see if you can change that. Right now it's just kind of pulsing on a blue color, kind of on and off, slow on and off. And so we'll check later if we can change that color, but it looks like it is separate from the colors on the fans that are going there. All right, you can see it's got this nice mesh here on the front. Very nice, kind of like a speaker grill. You know, it looks, it's all metal, of course. Looks real nice, kind of a satin finish on it. And then down here, you've got kind of a glossier plastic, kind of a trapezoid that kind of cuts in here. So I don't know if you can see that on video, but it kind of goes in to the casing a little bit, kind of angular here on both sides. And then it feels like it's got some more vents here, kind of slats for air to come up into the unit there for cooling. Of course, you got your Ryzen sticker on there since it is a Ryzen based unit. Let's take a look up top what we got. So right here, this is plastic right here, transitioning from the metal to the plastic. Then you've got, looks like 2 more high-speed USB ports, and then of course headphone and mic, and then that's your power button right there. And then this part right here transitions to metal. You can see how there's a small little dent here, a crease in the corner. So it goes from plastic to metal, although the finishes here, they did a really good job blending it because you can't really tell finish-wise that it goes from plastic to metal. And then you've got more cooling up on top here, a nice screen. It looks like it matches the front cover. Yep, looks like it's the same size on the top here. This is not removable, at least it's not from a magnetic perspective. You might be able to kind of pull this out like clips, you know, kind of clips that are holding it onto the top there. But plenty of ventilation up top here. It's got a larger hexagonal, it looks like grid underneath this outer. You can kind of see that on the screen there, and then it's got some different slots. So it's got some support, some structure under here as well. And then you've got the Lenovo logo back there in the corner. All right, so that's the top. We'll take a look at the other side here. Give you a zoomed out shot so you can kind of get a look at it. Real plain and simple, nothing fancy. And then if you want to pause the video to look at the label on the side there, again, this is the Lenovo Legion T5. It is the 26AMR5 model there, and you can see all the other important information there as well if you need to pause it. All right, so that kind of takes us back full circle. And so let's take a look at some of the specs here. Let me hop over here to the display, and then I'll give you an idea of some of the different specs on this particular one. All right, so this one is a Ryzen based. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see that better here. So it is an AMD Ryzen 7 3700X, 8 core. You can see ×2 with the different threads going on there. And then let's look at the storage. So it does have a, looks like a 1 terabyte conventional drive, and then a 256 solid state drive there. And of course it does have the GeForce GTX 1660 Super. I believe it's 6 gigs of dedicated RAM, but we'll check that later to make sure. And you can see under the network adapters, you do have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi 6, AX200, pretty standard chipset for Wi-Fi, and then you do have gigabit Ethernet as well from Realtek. So pretty common, pretty traditional components there on that side. And now let's take a look at, you can see your storage showing up, your SSD right there. So you've got about 196 gigabytes free on your 256 when everything's installed there. All right, the 1 terabyte's not showing up here. It might just need to be initialized, but you can see it is there in the device manager. All right, and then of course in your system properties, just another view there. You can see the Ryzen 7 again, the 3700X, 8 core, clocking in at 3.6 gigahertz there. And this one does come standard with Windows 10 Home from Lenovo there. All right, so let me show you some of the software that it comes with here. This is the Lenovo Vantage is what they call it, the Lenovo Vantage. And that's going to be where you control some of the basic things like the lighting and so forth. And so let me just show you what that looks like. So when you kind of get to the main screen there, it's going to have your kind of some basic stats there. It looks like it's got the CPU. Let me darken that up a little bit so it shows better. It's got your CPU and your GPU, how much, okay, so it is 6 gigs of dedicated RAM there. And then of course your 16 gigs of RAM on the main motherboard there. And then it talks about your SSD capacity, how much is used, 42 out of the 256, and then your hard drive. Okay, so that's kind of some basic specs there, but let me also show you what it looks like on the lighting controls, because I know that's kind of something people are interested in. So it has some different profiles here that you can customize. And so right now we've got it on profile number 1, and that appears to be kind of where it just cycles through continuously and it just goes from the different colors. We can also turn it on to number 2, and I'll show you what that one looks like here. So you can see it kind of just pulsates on and off. So that seems a little obnoxious to be doing that all day, but if you wanted to, you could set it like that where it just flashes all day like that. And it looks like it's set to just one color from what I can tell there, just that kind of cyan blue color. So that's profile number 2. And then it does have profile number 3 as well. Let's see what this one is. So this one looks like it might just be off, only the front LED on the logo there that turns on. But let me show you what you can do here under customize. We'll go back to 1. So if you go to customize, you can see it's got different section zones right here. So it's got the Legion icon on the front, the ambient internal lighting, the Legion CPU fan lighting. Yeah, so you can pretty much go through here and change what you want it to do. It has some different effects here. So you could have it correspond to the CPU temperature, spectrum wave, breath. So yeah, lots of different options there for the CPU fan lighting. It's got brightness and speed. So you can really go in here, I think, and fine tune what you want it to do. And you can see as you scroll through these different zones on the picture over here, it's kind of like a layout showing you where those lights are, so you know what you're controlling. So yeah, pretty nice. And then you've got the different profiles you can save ultimately, and it's gonna save those as your profiles if you want to switch them on or off for a particular game or mood. So that's kind of handy with your lighting right there. And then to go back, we just hit the back button there. It's got some quick settings, it looks like, for your audio, for your Dolby, your Wi-Fi security, some of these things. It's got some system tools, and I'm not going to go through all these, but you kind of get an idea of what is in the Lenovo Vantage app there as well. You've got some security options up here, and then support that you can get into. So yeah, that's basically how you go in and control the LED lighting. So that's a nice touch that they gave you that option. Some people, customers will ask, you know, is that controllable in the BIOS or is it in software and Windows? And so here on the Legion, as far as I can tell, it's only controllable through this software that Lenovo gives you, the Lenovo Vantage that comes with it there. All right, so that is what the Lenovo Legion T5 looks like, and I'll give you some other close-up views here of the main casing one more time there. So I hope this video was helpful. For those who don't know, here at JBrokers, we are a risk-free secondhand marketplace, and so we buy and sell all kinds of secondhand, gently used items from, gadgets, just like this desktop here that you're seeing, to other things like guitars and collectibles, cameras, all sorts of things. Typically anything worth over $100 that's easy to ship. And so if you're looking to sell, then definitely check us out. We are a risk-free secondhand marketplace, so we're an alternative to places like eBay or Facebook Marketplace, where you have to deal with the risk and hassle of different buyers. Some of them are fraudulent oftentimes, or just demanding and a pain to deal with. And so we take all that headache out of the process. When you sell to us, two things that our customers love about us is that we always pay the agreed upon amount for the agreed upon item. There's no bait and switch gimmicks. And then secondly, we always pay our customers on the next business day after receipt. So if you're looking to sell something, definitely check us out at jaybrokers.com. That's JAYbrokers.com. But as always, thanks for watching.